Welcome to Mo Squared. We're two coaches who are hoping that we can give you a few tips and little bits of wisdom, if you want to call it that, on how you can live your life with more ease and possibly more play and enjoyment. And today we're talking about spontaneity and the value of it, as well as, well, what does it take to be spontaneous in this very planned world that we have, especially after COVID-19? So spontaneity, take it away, Mo.
Okay, well, I oh my gosh, I love spontaneity because I let go of the having to get it right. And I have the word suffer just popped in. I almost didn't say it. Yeah, I feel like sometimes I suffer from the pressure I put on myself to get it right, to plan it to the T. And so having spontaneity in my life allows me to be free of a certain kind of pressure, and I can relax and really be present in the moment and have more fun.
Yeah, so letting go of the perfectionist kind of part of you, or the judge part of you, or the critic part of you, um, and um, and and really focusing on the moment as opposed to the future or the past.
Yes, and I think of occasionally I'll drop by my brother's house, who lives about 5 kilometers from me, and just go and knock on the door, see if anyone's home, and do you have time for me to come in for a cup of tea? And that just feels so freeing and so good. And it makes me realize how even going to visit somebody just to stop in because it feels like the right thing to do has almost been lost, and that I have to phone ahead. Are you home? Is it okay?
Yeah, and I was just thinking about, um, it's it's so lovely just to show up in that moment as you are, as they are. You share the moment, and then you move on. And there's no expectation. There's no um, preamble or arrangements or anything like that.
Mhm.
And I think one of the things that spontaneity does for me is it helps me. As kids, we're spontaneous. Well, we used to be really spontaneous, like, right? We'd just go outside and we'd figure out something to do right on the spot, and then we'd do it, or we'd be that way. And now I don't know if kids do that as much. If they don't, I think it's a bit of a lost art. And then I wonder, well, how do they deal with like these really joyful moments, um, that are so beautiful to and inspiring and energizing to have?
Yes, and that ability to get lost in play, that art of just being so it, involved in a certain thing like play. We learn from that. And that's how we actually, I think of kids, is we make sense of our world because it's almost like we're acting out what we're learning. And as adults, we need that too, to just we're going about it, I think, in a bit of a different way, but just to relax our bodies and relax our minds and relax all the expectations that are put on us to think we have to be doing, where spontaneity allows us to be. That's what I'm thinking right now.
Well, and I guess I think of it as we can be spontaneous by
Mm-hmm.
doing certain things at certain
Yeah.
times, right? But it's the concept of what am I being? I'm focusing on being spontaneous. So it is a state of being as opposed to a state of doing.
Yeah.
So when we think about spontaneity, then what do we need? Like right now, you and I, we didn't plan this talk, right? We're
No.
just shooting from the hip. And what does it take to do that?
Oh, you know, I think it takes some confidence that it's okay. And I'm okay if I just do something because it feels kind of good in the moment to do it. And it takes courage, especially these days when organized activity really seems to be the way of doing a lot of our lives. And it takes knowing that it's okay to be spontaneous and it's okay to, I'll go back to the, showing up at someone's door, knocking on the door and saying, hi, are you free for me to come in for a visit? So it takes courage. And it could be that nobody's home or the person says, oh gosh, not right now. It's okay. What about you?
Yeah. So the idea that that it's there's no attachment to an outcome, right? You offer, and that's it. And there's no expectation that the other person is going to be around, that whatever I offer is going to be received. It's just an offering, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, for me, the other thing is absolute trust in myself. And it's not that I'm going to get it right. That's not the trust. It's the trust that I can deal with whatever happens. And so there's going to be consequences, perhaps, to an offering that I didn't predict, and that's okay because I can deal with those consequences.
Yes.
So I think trusting oneself is a big part of allowing myself, anyway, to be spontaneous, and then to have the confidence, and then to have the courage, and all of the rest of it for me stems from that trust, which requires that I drop the idea of the offering being perfect or
Yes.
right, because it's not necessarily going to be right.
No. Thank you. And thank you for bringing trust into it. And it makes me think, Maureen, that a simple way, if spontaneity is feeling kind of overwhelming or new, one of the things I've really actually had a lot of fun with in spontaneity, and it's trusting. If I hear a song and I'm driving or I'm in my home, I can dance to it, and it feels like the music fills me, and I feel the desire to move my body in some way. And that's a spontaneous act, a simple spontaneous act. And I'm trusting it's okay. Now, if I'm driving, I'm not all over the road, but it's just the way it happens sometimes. Yeah. Anyhow, thought I'd
Cool.
let that one come out.
All right.
What's your takeaway, Maureen?
It's a powerful tool. I always thought of being spontaneous as something that was, you don't need to do that. But in fact, it's a very powerful tool because it opens us up in a different way. Yeah. And you?
Awesome. I love the idea of it as a powerful tool. And it just, talking about it feels like a sense of freedom in me, that it's okay to be in the moment and to be spontaneous. It just is like there's something really, powerful and energizing in that.
All right.
All
Thank you,
right.
Mo. And to
Thank
get
you.
more information about you,
Go to Caley-Verdonk.com. And yourself, Maureen?
MaureenMayhew.com.
Okay, until next time, we'll see you and have fun being spontaneous.
Right.